Picture this.
There's cars everywhere filling the street, blocking every driveway.
There's people everywhere, it's loud. And they're just drinking. You just hear cling, like everybody's just having a good time.
So what do? I begin to drink somebody else's leftover beer. A lot of fun going on. This might sound like a good party, but the truth is, I was only 6 years old. My parents, they met each other in school, in high school. And they were just friends. It wasn't until after high school they moved in together with a group of friends. And in that time, my father was working a graveyard shift, and my mom, having a good heart, would cook dinner and save a plate for my father. And she would write Rich, because his name was Richard, so he put Rich and put it in the refrigerator. And I don't know, I guess there's that saying, you know, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I guess it worked this time. My father fell in love with my mom. So my parents get married, they conceive me. I don't know if it was because of me or not. I had to go through that and process it and heal from it. But when I was born, that's when there was another who came in the middle of my parents' relationship. And this other had a lot of influence on my dad. And this other wasn't a person, it was another woman. This other was alcohol. My father began to get addicted to alcohol. And, you know, he started to go out, not come home. He would just pass out places. And my mom, with a newborn child, a young baby, would worry for him. And he wouldn't come home. So, of course, my mom, you know, didn't want to live like that. They didn't want me around something like that. So they got divorced. I go live with my father. And that was a very toxic time. Because, you know, he had a girlfriend that was the same. She also had drinking and some drug issues, and so it was all out in the open. You know, it was, they wouldn't hide it. It was all out in the open, and they would drink and get drunk and get high and start yelling, start throwing things, start hitting each other. I mean, there was even one time when I get home from school with my backpack, picture me 7, 8 years old, walking in. And my dad is on a couch like this one, like a little sofa couch. That was his chair, right in front of the TV. So I walk up and I only can see the profile on his left side, and, "Hey, Dad." Didn't reply. So I start kind of looking around more and like, "Hey, Dad." And as I move around in front of him, I see on the right side of his face, blood. All right here. Come to find out that they had fought, and they brought on an iron, freaking iron, and hit him over the head with it. So this was something that was common, you know, weekly, daily, cops at our house. And there was no mercy. They would go out in the front yard and open the hood and pull out spark plug wires so that nobody leaves, so that we handle this here. And for me, after those few years, I got out of there. My dad used to beat me, used to abuse me. I learned this defense mechanism to a point where I would leave my body. I would leave my body to the point where I couldn't feel anymore. So when he was beating me, I just couldn't feel it anymore. So then I ended up living with my mom. And I didn't tell her this until not even that long ago. This was way after. She didn't know this was going on. So I go live with my mom, and my dad, after that, not a part of my life. I would see him maybe once a year, and it was just for a couple hours when he was sober, at Christmas, at my grandpa's house. And then he would start to get drunk and out of control. He would blame somebody or something and leave. He couldn't slow down. The doctor said, hey, you have to slow down. Your body can't handle it anymore. So he did. But you see, his slowing down means wake up for 5 in the morning before work to have 2 tall cans and a joint. To drive to work, have another tall can and a joint. On the way home, same thing. And for dinner, same thing. And that was him slowing down. So once I got out of that, of course, I began to like, I don't want that in my life, right? I don't want to deal with that. But I reacted to what I didn't want to be. I began to look at my father and like kind of just be angry and despise him for everything he's done or not being around. So I would tell myself, I never want to be like my father. I never want to be like him. But I reacted to what I didn't want to be. I began to look at my father and like kind of just be angry and despise him for everything he's done or not being around. But what happened was I began to think about not wanting to be like him so much. I kept beholding him, thinking about him, and because of that, I started to actually become like him. I was actually reacting and mad and started to be like him. It wasn't finally until God touched my life. He saved my life. He opened my eyes. So now because of that, now I'm super thankful for what I've gone through, because I learned a message, I learned a lesson through that is so powerful. It not only changed my life, but now it's changing thousands of lives around the world. This one thing that I learned. And it's that broken people break others. Hurt people hurt others. So now I share with people how to overcome these things, how to get healing over these traumas, over these abuses, over this stuff in the past. Now you can actually use all that mess to now be a part of your message. You can use all those trials to show your triumph. You can have all those tests to now be a part of your testimony and actually impact other people, because you've gone through it, they trust you, and now you can speak into their hearts, into their lives, where it impacts them and brings healing and changes their lives. So I want to encourage you, like if you're experiencing this, or if you have, maybe you're stuck in this rut yourself. Maybe you're creating this kind of environment for your kids now. I want to tell you there's another way. There is a better way, more excellent way. There is more. You are more than that. Just know that it's coming from brokenness. That is not the problem. It's a symptom of the real problem. So I want to encourage you and challenge you to take control back over your life. And not allow your past to become your prison, not allow some substance to overcome your life, but for you to take full responsibility and stand up and stand for something and begin to make some change. Because if you don't, nobody else will do it for you. You have to make a decision.